Hey everyone, today as promised I'm going to be doing part 2 of the video series where I talk about some of the bags that work as personal items, particularly on more budget friendly airlines and international airlines that have stricter airline restrictions. I did the first part covering smaller bags that I felt were pretty safe for any airline anywhere in the world as far as carrying on and using it as a personal item. In this video I'm going to cover bags that are a little more at risk, they're a little more on the edge. They probably are over many of the dimensions that are officially allowed on the website, particularly on the weight. But these are bags that I have personally used as an item that I've placed under a seat on a variety of airlines. And I think that's the question on everyone's mind is, how big can I go while still managing to fit it under the seat and being able to use something and not have to worry about overhead space? And, this is a little bit more art than science, I would say. I've heard different experiences from different people around the world where they get flagged, they get asked to check something, they get charged an extra fee. So, definitely, take these recommendations with a grain of salt. And that's just my experience as someone who has traveled to a number of countries on a number of different airlines around the world. So hopefully this video is helpful. And before jumping in, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. I've talked about the Evergoods CTB26 many times over the past year. It's probably my favorite bag of the year and is one of my favorites of all time. I have it in 2 different versions. I have the X-Pack version that was done as a collaboration with Carryology, and then the regular version, which is a part of their lineup. Both of them have been fantastic to use. Their feature set is just one of the most well-rounded of any of the bags that I've tested out. Evergoods, of course, has the modern, minimal look that, just works well across a number of environments. They're meant to be crossover bags that can also be taken into the outdoors. The 26-liter size of this one was definitely designed in mind as something that could work for minimal travel and everyday carry. It is a little bit large for EDC, maybe for some people it's kind of wide, but it still manages to maintain a pretty slim profile, which is an important aspect when you're wanting to use something as a personal item. So even when it's packed out, it never looks overwhelmingly big. It can still slide under the seat on most of the airlines that I've been on. And then it just has all the features that I would look for out of a useful carry-on item. So it's got good handles to be able to hold it in a variety of ways. It's got the dual external water bottle pockets, which are so good and helpful. You have some great quick access on the front. You have a large compartment there for toiletries, bulkier items. You have the one at the top. So just a lot of different ways to access your stuff even when the bag is under the seat. Then just good organization throughout. Dedicated, well-padded laptop compartment. It also has a nice luggage pass-through that's oriented in the same direction as the laptop compartment. Super important for a travel bag. And then of course you have the breathable, comfortable harness system. So again, just checking off so many of the boxes. Clamshell style opening, which is what allows it to work well as a solo travel bag if you're trying to be really minimal. Toss in a packing cube or 2, some of your other items, and you'll be good to go. So if you're looking for something that's going to check off all the boxes, if the size works for you, this is going to be one of the best options to take a look at. The Goruck GR2 has been kind of a legendary travel backpack for a while now, but when it was released in a 26-liter size that could work for everyday carry as well as minimal travel, it really took it to the next level. And then they went even further with the Heritage Edition, which is probably my go-to of the GR2 bags that I have. I absolutely love the aesthetic of the wax canvas. It's still really durable. And then as a personal item, this 26-liter size has been very, very versatile. Goruck's bags generally are meant to have a more slim profile. So the GR2 is a little bit bulkier than the GR1s, of course, because you have the extra clamshell style compartment. But I still haven't had any issues traveling abroad with it and having this fit comfortably under the seat in front of me. So, you get that benefit, but then as a just travel and daily bag, it works very well. You've got a super comfortable harness system on these Heritage bags. It's going to be able to handle weight very easily. You have the well padded and bomb-proof laptop compartment. Then you have just good organization all throughout, particularly on the Heritage and Slick editions of the GR2s. You have the top quick access pocket, which is very helpful while going through TSA. You then have, the front slanted quick access pocket, and then the dual clamshell opening. Whether you're using this as your one travel bag or as something to pair with a larger travel backpack that you're placing in your overhead, this just gives you a lot of flexibility for pouches, jackets, additional clothes. You have more zipper pockets, built-in field pocket, and then of course you have the main clamshell compartment, which is just able to hold so much on its own. It's one of my favorite things about this and the GR1 is just how much flexibility this provides. You have a little bit more organization built in here. So yeah, as a personal item, this will give you a little bit more space and flexibility. If it's really packed out, the weight on this and the depth could start to be a little bit of an issue, particularly if you're maybe shorter or you're going on one of the airlines that has a really tight fit underneath the seat. You'll want to keep that in mind, but so far haven't had any issues. Again, the flexibility and the durability that this brings has been awesome to use. The Patagonia Mini MLC has been one of the bags that surprised me the most over the past couple of years. I really wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I have, both as a personal item and as a minimal travel bag. At 30 liters, it is really spacious. It's able to hold a ton of stuff. I often just use this as my one bag travel option because it can hold such an impressive amount of stuff. I really like that it has a more flexible material. This is always helpful when you have a larger one for just allowing it to squeeze under the seat in front of you. It also just helps the profile of the bag look a little bit smaller if you're not packing it out all the way or just mold around everything that you have. And this fabric is nice. It's kind of a ripstop fabric. It's got a nice amount of weather resistance. Patagonia has some really nice YKK zippers all throughout. A pretty streamlined, minimal look. You do have the large logo, which I know a lot of people aren't crazy about, which is fine for me. But then the actual functionality of this allows it to work super, super well as a personal item. So you have some nice handles to allow you to, pull it out from under the seat, carry it. You have a luggage pass-through that will allow you to rest this on your luggage if you're traveling with two bags. The laptop is not oriented in the same way as the luggage pass-through, so that's probably the one thing that I would change about this bag. But it still has a suspended, well-padded compartment, a dedicated tech area, which is really, really useful. You have an excellent quick access pocket at the top. So I use that a ton. Really, really, really spacious for the items that I'm taking it out of my pockets while going through TSA. You have an external water bottle pocket. The bag stands up pretty well on its own. It's got a comfortable harness. You can also hide this away and use it as a briefcase or a shoulder bag. It has a waist strap that can be used as the shoulder strap. So really creative, interesting idea there. And then you have a large clamshell opening with this sort of zippered area to help compress everything down. Very simple layout, but that's what allows it to hold so much. Here we have the shoulder strap that doubles as the waist belt. And then you have a little bit more of additional organization on the front panel. And because of the way that the volume is distributed here, it's kind of Evergoods-like in the sense that this pocket has its own dedicated space, so I'm able to use these zippered areas here without affecting how I use the main compartment. So everything just really well thought out. And if you're looking for something from a known brand, or this can be very versatile, that's gonna give you a little bit more space, but still be able to squeeze into a surprisingly tight space, then this is one of my absolute favorite options to use. Air has had some of my favorite travel backpacks of the past couple of years. I was very excited when they started to release their travel pack in a smaller 28 liter size. To me, it just strikes a perfect balance of something that I could use for my day-to-day while still providing a lot of space for minimal travel, but in a form factor that is sleek enough that it can still work as a personal item. My wife, who is a little bit shorter, has used this as a personal item on Spirit Airlines. She was able to place it under the seat very easily, didn't get flagged. And so, that's where it really kind of just proved out to me how versatile this bag can be. Air, of course, always has the modern, sleek, minimalist, kind of techie vibe, which I'm a big fan of. Then it has the 1680D ballistic nylon. It is offered in a couple of other fabric choices, but this one has just continued to hold up well over the years. And then with the third edition of the travel pack, Air just continuing to refine. The compression straps work very nicely. They have magnetic buckles. They have, this zippered water bottle pocket. And then they have quick access pockets on the side. Great handles all around. A really comfortable harness system. Air has some of my favorites. It's got a great luggage pass-through, and then an admin area that's going to have a lot of internal organization for all your stuff. This is also kind of a secondary clamshell compartment, almost like the GR2. So this is something that I'm always a fan of, whether you use this organization or not. And then you have the spacious clamshell opening, which again at 28 liters can hold a deceptive amount of stuff without looking too big. You can also compress it down using the straps if you want to make it a little bit sleeker. Great quick access pocket, and then one of the best laptop sleeves on the market. Really soft, well padded, suspended. So checking off all the boxes. And when people ask me what one of my top recommendations is, then one of my go-tos is always going to be the Travel Pack 3 Small, as something that can work well for pretty much any use case. The Heimplanet Transit Pack 28 liters to me is one that often flies a little bit under the radar, but every time that I come back to use it, I am reminded why I like this bag so much. To me, it's got kind of a mixture of a Bellroy, Evergoods, and Air layout and style, so it's a little bit more of a minimalist vibe, very subdued. It's got this material that's a little more flexible, which again for carrying on is going to be very helpful to just make it look slimmer and to really mold around the items that are on the inside, but still very durable fabric. At 28 liters, it works well for tossing in some packing cubes. It can work as an EDC bag. It doesn't feel overly bulky, which is what allows me to use it as an EDC bag. You have this spacious main area, not fully clamshell, but almost. Very easy to pack out. And then you just have really nice organization throughout. Quick access pocket here at the top, quick access on the side, always helpful when you're in transit. Then you have an external water bottle pocket, some good handles at the top and along the side. The harness system on this is probably not my favorite amongst the bags that I'm featuring in this list, but it does have this kind of soft gel-like almost padding that I think a lot of people do like. It's just not my personal preference. You have a good sternum strap. The back paneling here does have some padding, not as much breathability as what I tend to want to see, but again, it's just a different style. And then you have a nice luggage pass-through if you are pairing this with an additional bag. And then you have a really good laptop and tech area. So well padded, suspended, a little bit of organization for your tablet, other accessories. And then you also have the ability to just kind of open the compartments up. So instead of having two areas, you can have one. So some good flexibility with the bag overall. And if you're looking for something that's a little bit lesser known, that's still going to give you a ton of value, durability from a great brand with, a really subdued, versatile look, this is going to be an excellent option to consider. Another brand with some really great heritage style bags is Trakke. We recently took a look at the updated version of their Storr backpack. It's offered in a couple of different sizes. The version that I chose was the 25 liter size, as to me it is really kind of the sweet spot of something that works for all use cases, particularly with the layout of these bags, since they're a little simpler, and with the flexible wax canvas material, it can really hold an impressive amount of stuff. Almost as much as some larger bags in my opinion. And so, very subdued, minimalist style. I really like the ruggedness of Trakke's wax canvas. You have, this removable logo on the front, which is pretty cool. You have a comfortable harness system. This has been upgraded for many of the other Trakke bags that I've used, so it's more breathable, really beefy straps, nice back panel. You have an externally accessible laptop area. You can see the YKK aqua guarded zippers all throughout, great handles. You have a couple of nice external water bottle pockets. As far as quick access, you have this spacious compartment near the top that has a nice amount of volume. And then Trakke is also including this removable accessory, which can work as a pouch, it can work as a sling bag. You also have a couple of slip pockets here on the inside, little lanyard, and then you have the spacious main compartment, which can just hold a ton of stuff. And this is, you know, the type of thing that just allows you to get away with something a little bit bigger as a personal item. You can stuff this out. You can see that it's just gonna mold around everything that you have. It's not gonna look overly bulky. Might be a little bit on the heavier side. Wax canvas bags, some of the ones that I've, you know, used, they tend to be a little bit heavier, but if you're wearing it and it doesn't look too big, then that shouldn't be an issue. And if you're interested in something really rugged, again, with that heritage aesthetic and a simple layout, Trakke is going to have some excellent options to consider. It wouldn't be a Danny Packs Roundup video if I didn't mention the Fjallraven Raven 28, which I feels like I've been talking about in so many different videos, and it just speaks to the versatility of the bag. I talked about the Raven 20 in the first part of this video series, as that's a great, smaller, compact option, but I have actually used the Raven 28 as a personal item on a number of international flights and have enjoyed it a ton just due to the flexibility and the versatility that it has. So, you know, the organizational layout on this is one of my favorites. You have two external water bottle pockets. They're not super elastic, but still really useful. Quick access pocket on the front. You have not quite a secondary clamshell compartment, but you know, this is a pretty deep, useful compartment. In addition to having some internal organization, it's just a good place for pouches or additional clothing items that I'm carrying. You have a spacious, simple main compartment here, and then you have fleece line quick access pocket at the top and a dedicated laptop area on the 28-liter edition. So keeps my device protected, easy to access while I'm going through security. Fjallraven has also updated the harness on this, so a more breathable back panel in addition to the comfortable straps. At 28 liters, it can hold a really good amount, but you can see how sort of flexible the G1000 fabric is, so it just kind of slims down, easy to squeeze in under the seat, even when I've had it a little bit more packed out. And then it doesn't include a luggage pass-through, but I have used the third-party strap with these attachment points on the side to secure it to my luggage if I'm traveling with two items. And the look on this is just, you know, heritage, versatile. And so if you're looking for something with this type of aesthetic that's also in a little bit more of an affordable price point, it's gonna be an awesome option to take a look at. The Bihn Synik and Synik bags are legendary in the carry community, both for travel and everyday usage. In the first part of this series that I did, I talked about the Synik 19 and the Synik 22 as great smaller personal item options. For this video, I have the Synik 30, which is of course a little bit larger at 30 liters. You know, it starts to get up into that range where it's a little bit riskier, but you can see that when it's not that packed out, it's still pretty slim form factor, kind of collapses into itself. It's a deceptive amount of space. It's got a clamshell opening for the Synik. The Synik does not have it, but you can still really pack it out. Got some compression straps to hold your stuff in place. You can remove those. You have the laptop sleeve on the Synik, which you can access from the top or the side. Bihn has been using these great edgeless straps as of late, so comfortable there. Nice amount of breathability on the back. You do have a luggage pass-through as well, so you can rest this on your suitcase. It includes the frame sheet on the Synik editions of the bag, and then of course one of the best organizational layouts of any bag. You know, really large, spacious compartment at the bottom. All these pockets have the O-rings to allow you to really configure this within Bihn's ecosystem of accessories. You have some quick access pockets. I love these on the side for sunglasses, tools. You know, you have some built-in organization. It includes a little lanyard, and then of course the water bottle pocket is always interesting on Bihn's bags. It's in the center versus being on the side, so you know, your mileage will vary with that depending on your preferences and what you're carrying. But in general, even this 30-liter size, when it's packed out, it might start to be a little bit riskier on the smaller international airlines, but I have used it and have seen many others use this as a personal item on domestic flights, being able to fit under the seat. And if you're looking for ultimate kind of organization and a great ecosystem, then this is going to be an excellent option to check out. The Osprey Proxima comes in at around 30 liters and is meant to be kind of a larger EDC bag. For me, it works well as a personal item due to a lot of the functionality, the organization, and the weight. The fabric on this is a little bit lighter. It's maybe less robust than some of the other fabrics on this list, but it does help with the weight, and then it's also fairly flexible. So again, helping to maintain a smaller overall footprint where possible. And then, you know, the functionality that it has is really nice. Large water bottle pockets on each side. You have these compression straps that you can use to hang, you know, jackets or stuff while you're going through the airport, but also to kind of just, again, compress the bag down. You have a good quick access pocket, nice admin area that is pretty deep as well. So almost a secondary packing area, but it has some internal organization, a couple of elastic bands, a little carabiner, zippered pocket. Then you have a really spacious main area. This is a top loading bag, but you can toss in a packing cube. This can really hold a lot of stuff. You have this padded kind of tablet sleeve here, and then you have a dedicated laptop compartment that's suspended. This is a larger one, so if you have a big laptop, this is one of the options that I tend to recommend. And then you have a pretty comfortable harness system as well. The straps on this, again, not as robust as some of Osprey's other bags, but still, you know, they do a pretty good job. Breathability, and then the back panel is great. I really like how breathable this is, and you still have padding distributed all throughout. So comfortable to wear, it can hold a good amount, and if you're looking for a little more space and something that's gonna be really functional and also have a little bit of a unique kind of aesthetic, in my opinion, this is gonna be an excellent option to take a look at. Mystery Ranch has a number of bags that could fall into this category. We recently looked at their Greenbelt hybrid backpack. I talked about the Catalyst 26-liter backpack in my best EDC bags of the year video. To me, the Blitz 30-liter backpack, however, tends to be one of the more underrated ones from their lineup and is one of my favorites. It's got a little bit more of a tactical vibe, so that might turn a few people off of this one, but if you don't mind that aesthetic and you would like to have the additional functionality that brings, this bag has a lot to offer. At 30 liters, it does hold an impressive amount. It's a little bit of a larger EDC. It's fairly tall, so that's where it starts to get a little bit riskier. If you're using this as a personal item, if it's a smaller airline, it might stick out a little bit from under the bottom. Also, if you're not as tall, this bag could tend to look a little bit bulkier, so that's why it's a little riskier, but the functionality that it offers is great for travel. You have the two spacious water bottle pockets, a lot of compression straps to attach additional things while you're on the go, a couple of quick access pockets on the front in addition to the webbing. So good organization there to be able to reach anything that you might need quickly. These pockets have their own internal additional organization, so lots of flexibility there. Excellent, spacious, quick access pocket at the top. I'm always a big fan of these. And then Mystery Ranch has some of the best harness systems in the game. This is the Futura harness, which is adjustable. It comes in two different sizes and just really, really robust padding on the straps and then good padding on the back. It doesn't have as much elevation. The air channels here aren't as deep as some of the bags that I tend to gravitate towards, but still really good. You have external access to the suspended and well-padded laptop sleeve. And then as opposed to the tri-zip opening that Mystery Ranch has on a lot of their bags, this has more of a U-shaped or clamshell opening, I guess something resembling more of a clamshell opening. You have these really rugged aqua-guarded YKK zippers. And then on the inside, you know, a pretty simple layout, couple of slip pockets, but it's gonna be able to hold a lot of stuff with that 30-liter capacity, and it's got a fairly flexible sort of fabric here that will mold around the items that you're taking. So if you're a little bit taller or you're willing to risk the larger size of this bag and trade it off for the comfortable harness and some of the additional functionality, it's gonna be an excellent option to take a look at. The tomtoc T73 kind of came out of nowhere this year and really impressed me with the functionality and the design and aesthetic that it offers. It's got a really sleek, modern look, reminds me a little bit of an Air backpack. And then, you know, it's got a nice build quality. It's not quite X-Pack. This was one of the things I called out in my review. It does have a little bit of X-Pack on the front, but the bag itself is made out of something that looks more like Cordura throughout the rest of it. And I really like the form factor. Gonna work well for business travel. It comes in at about 30 liters, but it doesn't look super big. It's pretty similar in size to the Travel Pack 3 Small. And then the organizational layout that it provides is very, very useful. So it's got a couple of quick access pockets on the front. You can see that bright inner lining, good internal organization as well for the small stuff that you might wanna be carrying with you. External water bottle pocket. You have a really interesting additional quick access pocket on the other side, little lanyard with a carabiner. Then you have a dedicated laptop and tech area, really well protected laptop sleeve, good spot for chargers, a mouse. And then you have not quite a clamshell compartment. It does open really wide. It's got these gussets, so it doesn't allow everything to spill out, which I'm kind of digging as a layout these days because it gives you the benefits of a clamshell bag still. You can toss in a packing cube. Again, lots of visibility. You have some good organization on the lid of it as well. And then the harness on this is very, very comfortable. Reminds me a lot of kind of the Air harnesses, so very breathable, cushioned straps, great padding on the back, luggage pass-through. So, just really checking off a lot of the boxes. I've always been a fan of Tomtoc's bags, but they really took it to the next level with, offering some more premium materials and a feature set. It is pricier than some of their other bags, but if you're looking for just a really sleek, modern, durable, and useful kind of work travel backpack, this is gonna be an excellent option to check out. The Able Carry Max has been one of the most popular bags in this category over the past couple of years, and it's easy to see why. Able Carry always uses some very rugged and cool materials. This has got an X-Pack fabric, YKK zipper, so a lot of weather resistance, a lot of durability. The harness system on Able Carry's bags is some of the best that I've seen of any bag, so it's got really beefy straps, nice kind of materials on the inside. Then you have some good padding and breathability, elevation on the back, luggage pass-through. This comes in at 30 liters, which is, a size that again starts to get up in that range where it's riskier, particularly if you're not as tall, or if you pack this out, it can look pretty bulky. It'll still fit under the seat on many domestic airlines. Internationally, this is one of the ones that I would be a little more cautious with. I know a lot of people love this as a personal item or minimal travel bag, but I would say that it's one of the ones on this list that may get flagged a little bit more. Regardless, if you have confidence that the flight that you're going on will accept it, you get a lot out of this bag. You have Able Carry's A-frame to kind of prevent the bag from sagging, some great handles, a dedicated laptop area, well padded, suspended. You have some organization for your tech accessories. Then you have a great quick access pocket on the front, a lot of space here, little lanyard. You have a quick access pocket on the side, and then you have the spacious main area. This is a pretty simple layout, but that's what allows it to hold a lot of stuff. And then Able Carry has this really interesting water bottle system in the Max backpack. So you can, you have this gusset here, so you can use it as a traditional water bottle pocket if you want, but you can actually store one all the way in, zip it up to just maintain a cleaner profile. It does take up some space from the inside of the bag, but still a pretty unique idea that a lot of people seem to really like. And if you're looking for a modern, spacious bag that's going to be great for carrying on, this will fit into any overhead space under the seat, a little bit riskier, but if you're willing to risk it or you're going on a flight with more allowance, then this will be a really interesting one to take a look at. The Matador Seg series has been updated quite a bit as of late. I haven't had a chance to try out the newer editions of the bags that are in the lineup. They have the Seg 28, which is probably closest to the one that I have here, the Seg 30, which I have used as a personal item on a couple of flights, and I absolutely loved it. This bag has a very flexible layout in general, which is something I keep coming back to in this video as a theme. So when it's not as packed out, or even when it is, everything looks a little bit less bulky and large. You have a couple of nice handles. The layout on the new one features an updated harness system, which was one of the weak points on this edition. The straps were comfortable, but there's just not a ton of support. The laptop area, you do have a sleeve, but it doesn't offer a ton of padding. So this was definitely my go-to when I wasn't traveling with a laptop. It had a nice water bottle pocket that zipped up. I believe that's also been updated, maybe in the new edition. But what hasn't changed is the unique layout that this series has, which is kind of the built-in packing cube. So you have a number of zippers across the front that allow you to segment all of your stuff. And I love the flexibility that this provides. It's such a unique layout amongst many of the bags that are currently available, and it just allows you to spread everything out, easily find it. You have a quick access pocket at the top as well. And if you don't want to use that, one of the cool things about these bags is that they open up like a duffel bag or a suitcase. So this is where I place usually my bulkier shoes and some of the larger clothing items, because you have all this space, and then the pockets here just kind of adapt around everything that you put into the compartment. So you have a lot of flexibility, great organization, and if you're looking for something unique that's going to be able to, you know, be really flexible, that can work as a personal item, and that's going to come with kind of the pre-built in packing cubes, this is going to be a really cool option to consider. And so that's it. Those are some of the larger bags that I have been able to use as a personal item around the world on a variety of airlines. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if you have any questions on the bags that I featured in this video or suggestions for similar bags that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I will include a link in the description below to part 1 of this series, where I talk about some of the smaller bags that I think are pretty safe to use as personal items, as well as to some of the other roundup videos that I've done, such as my favorite one bag travel options of 2023, my favorite EDC bags, some of my favorite travel clothes. And if you have any suggestions for other similar style roundups that you would like to see in the future, definitely let me know. And as always, I want to thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.